change all of that or whatever. And if you remember, we had talked about something called the Bollinger Band squeeze, where it tightens up real quick and then it explodes. But there's also a way to use these to trade consolidation. Consolidation looks a lot different than a squeeze. It's more something, it's more like a softening. It's not really a squeeze. It does show volatility dropping. It does show the range decreasing, but there's a subtle difference. It's almost like a rectangle pattern, actually. And you can use this to tell you that, when volatility is picking up or not. So, for example, as I zoom through this, I would consider this to be a consolidation. It's essentially a rectangle, right? And the reason is that although we did collapse from a volatility standpoint, we didn't squeeze the pattern. We just kind of killed time going sideways. And that's really what you're looking for. A squeeze would probably be something more like this, where you see it pinch suddenly and then it breaks back up. So what this is doing is this is telling you that, hey, something's probably going to happen. And if you are patient enough, you should get the signal. So in this case, this is Ethereum. On a daily chart, you see just kind of killing time here, killing time. And then all of a sudden, you see the market break above the top of the Bollinger Band, 2 standard deviations. So what does this tell you if you think about it logically? That suddenly volatility spiked to the upside. So that means momentum. That's exactly what you're looking at, is momentum. To trade this is very simple. What you're looking for is a return to the 20 SMA, the midline. And if you look at this, you really didn't get that until this candlestick here. So you rode this from somewhere around $250, depending on exactly when you got in. But even if you waited at the end of the day, you're talking $260 to about $400. As far as the stop loss is concerned, you just simply put it on the other side of the Bollinger Band, or if you want to be a little bit more conservative, on the other side of the simple moving average. Pretty straightforward in and of itself. You can look for other indicators to tell you that perhaps, maybe something is going on here. One that a lot of people like to mix is the MACD. You can see that we crossed a couple of times and then suddenly it spread out as we started to break to the upside. So something to consider. Now over here in Tron, same situation. This could have been a squeeze if it kept tightening, but it basically just sat here for a while. You did get a little bit of hint of it widening. So that tells you that we're going from a dead kind of consolidation to, okay, things are picking up a little bit. And then finally we get that close outside of the range and we take off. Again, let's go ahead and add the MACD and see if that told us anything. You can see that once we got there, the line started to spread out. The histogram started to rally and spread out more, which shows you that we really were starting to build up momentum. We came back to this area here. We did not get stopped out. We did not take our profit because we did not break down below the 20 SMA. Close. This certainly was a close one. Whether or not you would have moved your stop up there, that's entirely up to you. That comes down to your risk appetite. Generally, though, you'll get a pullback and take off. Markets don't move in the same direction forever, obviously. We did finally break back through the 20 SMA in Tron right about 33 cents, and you got in at 28. Nice quick move on the 4-hour chart. Certainly shows some strength there. Now, in Bitcoin, now keep in mind, Bitcoin uses bigger numbers a lot of the time. See, this could have been a short squeeze, but it wasn't. It was simply sideways action. This was more of a short or a Bollinger Band squeeze. But really, what I like about this particular setup is the fact that it closed outside of the Bollinger Band. You're in an uptrend anyways. Stop loss on the other side of this. And if you look at it, again, consolidation, you have to think more along the lines of a rectangle with Bitcoin. Now that we've broken above there, you could use that same argument, not until we cross the 20 SMA, which is actually on this candlestick. That's got you to about 31,000 from 20. Nice move. We could put the MACD up, but the simplest way to look at this is we broke the 20,000 level. That in and of itself will attract a certain amount of attention. Looking at Tron again, you can see that it was flattish for a long time. So really, you probably could have just jumped out for the daily and made an argument for consolidation right there. And again, that was the same move you were talking about. Ethereum, you can make an argument for a market that does this from time to time. Ethereum seems to be very one step, two step. So here is consolidation right here. Same situation. You break down, you finally close below it. You ride it out to the 20. Again, it's with the trend. We are seeing resistance right at the $500 level. I like that setup as well. If you look at the MACD, it crossed down here right as we started to break down, like just before we reached the zero level almost, and then rolled over again after crossing. Yet another reason to sell. The squeezing of the market is a subtle difference, and you need to know the difference between that. That's a squeeze. That's a consolidation. Again, you want to see it stretched out. A lot of this, just as with the squeeze, the consolidation is about letting the market tell you which way to go. Now, the examples I've shown you all suggest that, and history shows us, statistically it shows us that typically consolidation means continuation of the previous trend.